Future Jam.
Welcome to the Future Jam, a tech news podcast for enthusiasts and casual listeners alike. I'm Mike. Once again, I'm here with my good buddy Alex.
Damn, Mike, you're coming in hot.
I know. I'm pumped.
I know.
Summer is fun.
Summer is fun, and a lot of people don't say that enough. They're always
No, they
like,
don't.
summer's meh, it's hot, it's rainy. But it's still fun. There's a lot to do.
I've never even heard. Is there any summer songs or anything? Nobody ever talks about summer. It's like not a popular topic. Everybody's like, oh, summer.
Yeah, they'd always blow past it. It's like, oh, it's the 4th of July, and then summer's over.
Yeah, let's get on to winter. Man, that's the best time of the year.
No one says winter is the best time of the year.
To be fair, nobody says summer is the worst time of the year. We're just being facetious.
No, do you think people hate summer?
No, nobody hates. Do you really think people hate summer?
I think there's people out there that really hate the heat in summer.
Oh, those people are boring.
What is your favorite season?
Fall.
Yeah, I'm an autumn man myself.
I think fall, best temperatures. You get to see the leaves change, and days are getting a little shorter, but not too short.
Yeah, I don't care for spring.
Nah,
Not a fan.
Too much rain and too cloudy.
Too much rain, and when you get the fall breeze, it's still like that it's the light summer breeze, so it's a little bit warm. The spring breeze is still that winter cold air. I don't like it. Not me.
So nobody expected to get the rankings of seasons, but
what's your definite ranking?
I'd go fall, summer, winter, spring.
Okay, I would go fall, probably winter, summer, spring.
Wow.
I don't like being outside, and the winter gives you an excuse not to be outside. So
I think winter used to be higher up my list when I was younger, and I would go out and sled and throw snowballs at neighbors and stuff like that.
yeah, now you do. You just seem like a jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
I like winter. I like being cozy inside. And then you get all the winter shows, and then Christmas is in winter. So,
and as you can't tell, folks, summertime can be a slow news time. But we got a lot of good stories in here. But let's just jump right into the dumb tech of the week. We got it loaded up this week.
yeah, Facebook Messenger is adding sound emojis. So everybody knows what emojis are, and now you can send some with sound.
And they're based off of everybody's favorite franchise, Fast and Furious.
Well, those Fast and the Furious, the ones Drake song, the YOLO.
Did you tell everybody what they're called? The sound emojis?
Yeah, those sound emojis.
Oh, so stupid. That's pretty dumb in and of itself. Are they trying to drum up excitement for a sequel to the emoji movie, and this is going to be the sound emoji movie?
But yeah, because it was odd. The emoji movie had no sound. It was a silent picture. So
Yes.
This would be the next step. I can see
The
that,
next iteration, yeah. Kids didn't, especially kids who didn't read yet, they did not like the emoji movie because they had to read subtitles or just expressions. But now the expressions have words.
Yeah, they have sound.
And sound.
Sound emojis.
If you send me one of these, I will unfriend you on Facebook or delete. I don't know what I'll have to do, but I'll have to remove that application from my phone.
I used these yesterday.
I have a feeling somebody's going to be in a meeting, open up the app, and it's going to have some stupid sound come out and ruin somebody's day. They're going to lose a promotion over this.
Well, Facebook Messenger is annoying in general because it pops up at you and then it stays there until you move it.
Oh, the bubbles?
Yeah, I hate the bubbles.
I just turned that off. I turned the bubbles off years ago.
I didn't know you could.
Yeah,
I use Facebook Messenger for video, and that's it. I never really used the chat. I did send a couple of sound emojis to my brother.
Just to test it out or piss him off? Or
Yeah, to test them out, and then we've both been rewatching the Fast and the Furious movies, so I sent the Fast and Furious ones. I want to see what all the hubbub's about.
There's not much hubbub there. It's like a false hubbub, I say.
It's my firm belief that people like dumb action movies, but don't want to admit they're dumb action movies. So when you have a movie like Fast and the Furious that comes along, and it's just a big action based movie, people want to go see it. Like we got in this point where like your action movies had to be like more like better stories and things like that. But these are just basic stories.
It's when there's Transformers.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Name the last action movie that had a good story, Alex. I dare you. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
No, I'm saying like we got to the point where like I think it was like right after like The Matrix came out.
Yeah, that was the last one I can think of that had like a decent plot.
But there was like all these movies that had to be like more than just action movies.
Oh yeah, okay. So
and
like have more deeper meaning to them. Or something?
And then like you get these movies like the Fast and the Furious movies or like the John Wick movies where like it's just a basic storyline that
Alex,
people want to.
Fast and Furious is about family.
Yeah, and
so the deepest of meanings.
I don't know, because, I don't have... That's the one. I don't have friends. I have family. That's the one sound emoji you can send to people.
Okay.
But I only made it through the first 4. I have to watch the ones after that.
I hear they get better as they go, and then they start getting worse again.
Well, they added The Rock, and I hear when The Rock's in them, they're great. And then when he left, they're not as good.
I didn't even know he left.
Yeah,
Last time I went to one, I fell asleep halfway through it, and... decided to leave. I just left the theater.
Which one was that?
I think it was 8.
8.
7 or 8. I bailed. I bailed hard on that. Speaking of dumb, this one is trying to curb drunk scooter riding. And I don't think Bird's a scooter brand. You can rent these scooters like pretty much in the city. You just have an app and you just scan it and ride it. I don't think they're really trying to curb drunk driving scooter riders. I think they're just trying to look like they're curbing this.
Yeah, so that makes 100% sense, right? I don't know why I said it like that. It makes perfect sense. That's what I was trying to say. So Bird scooters now, between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m., you would have to pass a puzzle to be able to ride it. And like I think it just looks like it's a word puzzle.
You type a word in, and the word in the preview image that they were like advertising is you type the word safe.
Yeah, so
I can pretty sure somebody who's semi-drunk can type the word safe on a keyboard.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to look good. I guess Lime scooters have been doing it for like 2 years now. So like Bird is finally getting around to it. My guess is like to stop them maybe from getting sued would be the other reason.
Yeah, maybe. But they're also fine with kids riding around on scooters. Like I don't know how these kids get access to scooters. And
parents and kids have phone now and they're not drunk.
Yeah, they're not drunk, but they're also driving down the wrong way on the street or driving on the sidewalk too fast. People just don't know how to use these Bird scooters in general. Like you're supposed to ride them on the street with the traffic. It's like a car or a bicycle. You're supposed to obey all like traffic, and people ride these on the sidewalk, like pushing pedestrians over or like ramming into other like people, or it's just terrible.
Somebody's not a fan of these scooters.
No, I rent them quite a bit, but
never used.
I just see a lot of irresponsible people riding them.
Yeah, that's just how the world is. You see all these people with their cars. What makes this different?
But at least you need a license to have a car or drive a car, for the most part. But most of these people don't have licenses. They don't. They probably have never even like understood like what proper etiquette is on the road, like or how you're supposed to do these things.
Yeah, but I'm a firm believer that when you're on the scooter, there are no laws. So,
except for
it's
no,
it's like when you're on the scooter, it's like you're in the world of Mad Max. Anything goes. You can do whatever you want.
Except for what if people are bringing their kids on the front of them and they fall off and get hit by a car or something? That's dumb. That happened here.
That happens a lot. You see like people with like little kids on the front and all. And I don't trust that.
No.
I know like and the way people drive downtown, I want to trust doing that. But
you know what's something else I don't trust? I don't trust that robots can safely pick groceries.
Yeah, I'm surprised you had this in a dumb tech.
I debated that. I'm like, it's dumb because the robots crashed into each other, 3 of them, and caught on fire. They had to call the fire department and shut the whole factory down, or the whole warehouse down, for a week. So I feel like that's a lot of lost revenue, maybe spoiled food. But yeah, it's Ocado. They're the company that runs the Kroger one.
Yeah, so they're based out of the UK, and like in the UK, though, that's like an online grocer that set up this grid pattern system, and the computers, the robots move in and out. They move 13 feet per second.
In the article, there's actually a YouTube video. Did you watch it at all? It's really cool.
I started to, and then it was 5 minutes long, and I was trying to watch Hell's Kitchen at the same time. So
this didn't require sound. You could have just looked at the video picture. But basically, these things move on a grid, like a grid on the ground. And in the ground, there's like, it's pretty deep, and there's like stacks of pallets of food. And I guess they reach down into the grid and grab the item out of the pallet with like a claw or something like that. It's really cool. And they're all just kind of rolling on this grid of like metal, and they're coming within inches of each other. They're just crisscrossing.
They said 5 millimeters.
5 millimeters, yeah. I don't know what it is in inches, but
small.
Yeah, if you watch the video, they're flying around this warehouse. It's a massive warehouse too.
Yeah, they said that the crash only affected 1% of the grid, but I imagine like the whole thing had to be shut down because they would have to move from that area and all.
Yeah, and I don't really think it's completely dumb tech of the week. I'm just saying that, when you automate something like this, obviously stuff's going to happen. I don't know if that's it's probably still more productive than having people like run around grabbing this food out of the bins and stuff. So it's probably, still good.
The good news is all the robots got workman's comp, so they are well taken care.
Do you think they're gonna like take the survivors and like pay for their like PTSD treatments and all that stuff?
The robots? I think so.
Yeah. Let's jump on to our next one. This is our final discussion topic. This is not dumb tech, but this is something you added. It's about posting your resume on TikTok.
Yeah, I saw this in like a New York Times article. Yeah, so I guess it's like this new thing where you post your resume on TikTok, like a 60-second video about who you are and why companies should hire you.
Why on earth would you do this? Please tell me, why on earth would you post a resume on TikTok?
If you really want a job, but like I was trying to think, because I guess there's like hashtag TikTok resumes, or you can go to tiktokresumes.com.
Yeah.
And like you put your contact information in. I was trying to figure out like what jobs this would be like good for.
Maybe customer service roles, or.
And I don't think that somebody would do that for like I would think like PR, HR,
client facing.
Yeah, or like, yeah, if you're trying to build like because like the one was like somebody got hired and it was for like an influential company. Like that makes sense. You're looking for somebody.
I don't see this sticking around though. I feel like there's going to be people complain like, hey, this person gets a job because they look good. And
well, that's like the biggest thing, like with TikTok and like videos and all. Like you see the people who are like the biggest on TikTok and Instagram and all, they are like good looking people. Like it's not like you don't get big, but and like even like the people who aren't quote unquote good looking, and they're still like cute looking. They're not like,
whoa, somebody has crushes on TikTokers.
I am. Everybody knows I'm famously not on TikTok. Because I don't get it. No, but like me and you, we have faces for podcasting. That's why we podcast.
Oh, that's hurtful.
Hey, I love being with you. But no, it makes sense, right? Like, so yeah, like, that's what I don't get. Like, but there's like a lot of big companies that are hopping in on this. And like, well, Chipotle, anytime somebody like starts like a new hiring trend, they're always on it just because they want people to work at their stores.
Or are they just trying to get younger, like skewing younger, and it's easier to weed out like weird. Like, people don't like reading resumes. I feel like it's also a laziness thing too. Like, people don't want to read a big stack of resumes that are basically the same thing written over and over again.
Or like when you apply for a job, a lot of times they want a copy of your resume, and then it's like, enter all your work experience and all. I know that's looking for key buzzwords to pull out.
Key Budweisers?
Buzzwords to pull out, especially if you're going for like, that's like a normal job. If you're going for like a top job in a company, they have people actually care about that stuff, and usually it's like headhunters and all. But like, it's just, I don't see this like catching on. People are like, this is the wave of the future. Well, TikTok said it. Like, this is how people are going to get jobs and all.
If I ever have a job where they require me to submit a video resume, I'm just not going to work for that company. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just think it would be a lot of like social media companies or like big companies if they're looking for somebody like to do public relations for them and all.
It makes sense if they're looking for a TikTok like influencer person to like advertise for their company, because that's a big popular thing now. Like, this guy runs the TikTok for Subway and he's making Subway sandwiches and people love him, or this person's doing Cold Stone, or, I could see like companies trying to get more into it that way, and maybe that's their way of finding a personality that people like. But for a regular job, no, I don't see that.
No, and I mean, I guess they're not the first social media company to do this. Snapchat did it. Like, Taco Bell had a Snapchat job hunt, and then McDonald's had one.
But this is for like high school or college jobs where they're trying to get kids to apply.
Yeah, where you're like, hey, let's apply to this. Snapcations, they called it. And then Facebook allowed companies to post.
I doubt some of these kids want to give out their Snapchat or their TikTok, because like, if you see some of these people's TikToks or Snapchats, you're probably not qualifying yourself for a job.
Oh, I don't know why anybody besides LinkedIn posts, like, put in like their bio where they work. No. Like, I know my company has a long list of stuff you have to follow if you're going to say you work at the company. And if you look at any of my social media, I do not have a job. Because I don't want to fight like that, and I want to keep my social life private for my company.
Also, like, say one wrong thing on this podcast, which we do all the time, and you're out of job.
That is true.
You were in blackface the whole last episode, and nobody noticed because we're a audio podcast.
Yeah, that's not true. No, I wasn't. Trying to gaslight me.
I almost convinced the audience to.
Yeah, you're trying to gaslight me into thinking I did. No, I know I wasn't wearing pants last episode. But that's normal.
It's only from the waist down the podcast. I mean, waist up.
But I don't do LinkedIn. It actually, I have a LinkedIn account, and like a thing posted, my brother sent me a screenshot. He was like, hey, congratulations of your 9 years at this boy home you worked at.
Have you been on LinkedIn, though? There's some like people that are just so over the top about like just talking themselves up and like getting into it with other people from other companies and getting arguments, or like, no, that's not the right way to do this, or your business needs to do this. And yeah, it's I don't even like LinkedIn at all. It's like the fakest of fake social networks.
Yeah, but I do think a lot of companies use it.
They do. Yeah, they do. I've gotten emails from like, just because I have certain things in my bio, I've gotten emails from like recruiters before because they want like, oh, we need tech or IT people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't. The problem is every time I try to go back into my LinkedIn, I don't know my password, and it's like the hardest one to reset your password.
It is really hard, yeah.
Out of any other like social media site. I also didn't know they were owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft bought them like a year or two ago. We might have covered that on this show.
Maybe. But I'm pretty
sure we did.
I do think going forward, like your social media presence, like with LinkedIn and all, will affect you, but video resumes like TikToks and all, like that's not going to be for most people.
And I'm not trying to be like all things will never change, it's always going to be the same. No, I'm just thinking that this is just not probably a good thing.
No, I think because there's a lot of people I don't do videos because I don't want like my face out there. Like there's a lot of people that don't like doing stuff like that.
But then again, we're from a generation where we didn't do these types of things a lot.
Yeah,
We didn't have smartphones until we were in college.
that's true.
So I didn't even have texting in high school. So I never really picked up on texting. I don't really enjoy texting. I'm more of a phone call guy. So I don't even feel comfortable recording a video and like just posting it somewhere of myself, just because it just feels like oddly like I'm not promoting myself, but like it just feels like egotistical or something like that. Like I'm recording a video and putting it out there for likes or.
Yeah, it's like the same kind of person that would make a podcast about tech stuff.
Exactly.
No, yeah, but I understand what you're saying. That's why I don't know. I don't like posting. Like I'll post like pictures and stuff on like my Facebook, but like I don't like doing like Instagram or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not into Instagram. I do like TikTok just because I think it's kind of an art where people can. They have 60 seconds, and I like the idea of constraint and like designing your video in such a way where it gets your idea across in 60 seconds. I think TikTok's great for that, and it's a good creative medium. But yeah, I don't like it for this type of situation.
Speaking of constraints, why don't we get into our next segment, Tech Bites?
Oh, fan favorite. Everybody loves it. They say stop elaborating, guys. Just get right to the meat and bone.
Okay, let's start it off, Mike.
Tech News Bites.
All right, this first story is I think this is an exciting one. I'm super excited about this product, even though I'm probably not going to buy it, Alex. But we talked about something similar to this back during CES, one of our older episodes. But Valve, the company that runs Steam, like the game purchasing website, announces the Steam Deck. Sounds like a dumb name, but it's a $400 gaming PC that's handheld. That's some exciting stuff right there.
Yeah, this really could be like the future of gaming, like especially PC gaming. I mean, in the handheld market, it's really only the Switch, and
it's underpowered, and you're limited to a library that's only from like Nintendo. And the reason why I think this is like kind of like pretty awesome is you have the Steam library backing it up, and the Steam library is probably the biggest gaming library like you can imagine. Like there's pretty much every game under the sun available for you, and you could just download and purchase it and play it on a handheld console.
And also you can have third-party applications on it. You can do a ton of stuff with this.
Yeah, you can dock it up and turn it into an actual computer if you wanted to, if you're insane.
Yeah, the one person I know who's really into computer gaming, I send him this, and he's like, yeah, I know, I want it. He's like, I think this is a very big news for like if you're really into PC gaming, because PC games you are limited to usually limit to a certain area. Yeah. Like with it becoming more mobile, I think it will help developers of those games. And like you're seeing that's what like Microsoft and like is trying to do with their cloud in game, giving people more the options to play better games, like better. I don't want to say better games, but better looking games, more in depth games.
Yeah,
mobilely.
Yeah, most handhelds typically fail because a lot of companies have to build games specifically for that handheld. And this is kind of flipping the idea. And basically all the games that are on Steam already will already run on this handheld because it's a miniature computer. Has a 7-inch screen, has a controller like the Switch does. They say it has about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hour battery life depending on what game you're playing. So if it's like a lower like tier game that doesn't require a lot of hardware, then you can get more battery life out of it. So it's an exciting product. I don't know how well it will sell, but I think if it's good, then the momentum will I think it'll build.
Yeah, you can pre-order it now, and they're saying it'll be released holiday of 2021. All right, next topic.
Yeah, next topic. Microsoft unveils Windows 365, a Windows 10 PC in the cloud.
Yeah, I don't think people really saw it coming. It was like rumored for the longest time that they were going to do this, but they actually announced it. And
It
especially
sounds
like
like
right at
fake product too.
yeah, it sounds like I'm buying a generic version of Microsoft 365. So it pretty much is you can run your Microsoft's desktop on any device.
Yeah, from the cloud. It's basically you open the web browser, log into Windows365.com, which that sounds like a fake website as well. And you can have access to a full Windows device running in a server somewhere in India or God knows where. But it's secure, safe, and it probably has better horsepower than what you're running on your computer.
Yeah, so a lot of companies, a lot of businesses just in general had to work from home over for COVID. Like my company, we use the VPN. So like you're logging into your desktop from home. This is kind of doing this, but you're backed by Microsoft and you would just be access to your desktop. You're not going through something else.
Yeah, it's smart.
To use it.
I think it's cool. I think I saw that the subscription was like $31 a month starting out, which is not terrible if you just need something fairly simple for your business. Or I guess if you have a Chromebook, people have Chromebooks for school. You could just pay for this and have Windows on your Chromebook.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it will save a lot of companies money because they can buy cheaper computers and be able to run Microsoft Office or Microsoft 10 fine, and then eventually Microsoft 11. The release date is August 2nd, and they'll hammer out the price by August 1st. Right now, there's no
I also
definite
thought it was
price.
funny, like somebody mentioned that you could technically run a Windows 365 in a browser and then open Windows 365 inside Windows 365 and then so on and so forth, and you could just have an endless tunnel of Windows 365s.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Next topic.
All right, next topic up is, this is kind of like a heartwarming one, and I added it on there just because I thought it was an interesting application for the product, but an English drone pilot flies heart-driven missions reuniting lost dogs with owners. And basically what he has is like a drone that has an infrared camera on it, and in his free time he just flies this drone up and he like gets like kind of the area where the dog was gone missing, and he just flies it around looking for the lost dogs. And he's actually found already 17 lost dogs, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, 47 total since he started it. And it kind of started as like a Facebook thing. It's like, hey, if you lost your dog, let me know. I can help you find it. And like the community's involved. They say people come and help them. And like there's been times he said about like it's been like it takes 5 days to find a dog, and other times by the time he gets there, they already found the dog again before he got there. But yeah, he just does it in his free time. He flies his drone. They said one time he had to get like special authorization because there was like a flight restricted area to look for a dog. And yeah, that's a guy who likes dogs and wants like to help people.
It's a cool app. That's not something I even thought of, like what you could use a drone for, like finding dogs or finding people that are missing. Or it's just like there's so many different applications that you could use drones for, and we're just like at the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's going to be lots of ingenuity, like smart people coming up with like cool ways to use them, not just like to annoy their neighbors or deliver a package.
Yeah, like working out.
Yeah, we covered the working out drones, and I don't think that's going to be a thing. But yeah.
But like, yeah, this is like that's a nice story of somebody doing something good with new technology.
This is in England. Why don't Americans do this? We're terrible people. Come on now, jump on it. I'm getting a drone tomorrow. All right, next one up is this should be Dumb Tech of the Week. Honestly, one of the most hated companies I can think of. TurboTax, parent company of Intuit, is exiting the IRS Free File Program. So you can no longer use I think it was called the Freedom Edition, TurboTax Freedom Edition.
Yeah, like the Free File Alliance, a nonprofit coalition that if you made under $72,000 in gross income, you can file your taxes for free. They just are making money.
I used to do this every year back in the day when I had like a job at Best Buy. It was so easy to file. It was pretty awesome. And then they got in a big controversy because it made it really hard to find it in Google search, like Chrome. And I actually fell for this. I actually ended up 1 year paying for it because I couldn't find the free version, because I thought I was in the free version, and they tricked me. So, yeah, this is just not a good company. They lobby the government every year just to keep taxes like confusing, so people have to like rely on them to use to file their taxes.
Yeah, I think they're at the point now where so many people have been using it year after year. They're just thinking people are just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, we're just robots. We do it. I still hate them, and I still use them.
Yeah, it's getting to the point, depending on how much it's going to be, I might take it to somebody next year.
Well, because you also feel like you're locked in because all your information's already there, so they make it easy to fill it in the next year.
And, so many companies, like my wife's company, you can just put in the special code and just pulls in all the information from this W-2 and all, so I don't know, they just make it too easy, but now they just want to charge. But it's annoying.
I guess another company would jump on the free bandwagon. But last one up is, I thought this was interesting because I had no clue they had this much of a backlog. But Tesla has a 80,000 order backlog of Powerwalls worth up to $500 million in sales. And if anybody doesn't know what a Powerwall is if you have a solar panels on the roof of your house, you can get a backup battery installed that. It's called a Powerwall, and basically it'll store power. So if you lose electricity, or if you want to store excess electricity, you can. It's just a cool feature. But yeah, they're way behind, I guess, the chip shortage.
Yeah, the chip shortage is hitting them hard, and they said they're going to only produce 30 to 35,000 this quarter. And then I guess it was a big deal because Elon Musk announced it because Tesla bought, Soltech or something like that?
Solar City.
Another company that Elon Musk owns that makes solar panels.
They're actually behind on those as well.
Yeah, because that company was going under, so Tesla bought it, and a lot of the stockholders were like, you're just buying this to support your own company. But going forward, you can only buy the Powerwall if you're buying solar panels too. So they're lumping them together going forward. Yeah,
I think they're making these requirements because there's so many orders, and probably when these are more available, they'll free it up again, most likely. But yeah, I added this because this kind of speaks to the main topic we're talking about here in a second, the chip shortage. And that's our summer series of the week, and basically how we got into this chip shortage, and how it's going to help us, the pandemic, how it's going to drive change and help us not get into this situation again.
Yeah, take it away. This is all you. You love chips.
I do love chips, shortage. And we're not talking about Tostinos or anything like that. But yeah, I added this just because right now, if you drive past any car lot, or pretty much if you're trying to buy any sort of electronic device online, it's long queues, or always sold out, or the prices are gone up, or the car lots are empty. And there's a lot of reasons behind these things. It's kind of all come to a head during the pandemic because of the excess of people buying these products too. That's not something people think of, but everybody working from home, all these companies had to buy laptops. All these people had to buy laptops for the kids to do school from home. So there's a lot of products that were sold a crazy amount of during the pandemic, like webcams and all sorts of things.
Well, it's crazy because during the pandemic, and part of the reason why car dealers or automakers are doing so bad is during the early parts of the pandemic, they stopped buying chips because they're like, oh, no one's going to buy cars. And a lot of people still bought cars during the pandemic, especially when the stimulus checks came out. We bought a car using the stimulus checks. What you were supposed to do with it to kind of try to help stimulate the economy is use the money. A lot of people didn't. But so we did that, and I guess automakers for like the longest time. I heard like Ford just say like, yeah, we would just buy the chips when we need it, because chips aren't expensive. They're relatively cheap, and you buy them
very cheap.
And you buy them in bulk, and it's not something you think that you need. Especially, I imagine these big companies like, we have to worry about all these other items. These small chips, we don't really care about. We're going to buy them in bulk, and we'll just buy the same thing every time. But I guess it's interesting that when the automakers stopped buying them, all these like computers and like what you were saying, like stuff that people were working from home, companies bought up all these chips because they were producing so much more.
But it's not to say that the chips in your car are the same that are in your computer.
No,
and but the same, like a lot of the same factories are doing these.
Yeah, they're making them instead. Like,
yeah. So and then also with the automakers in general, they're using like a lot of older tech, like with their chips, but they're like really reliable tech. So they're old, reliable tech that they use because it's like approved by the government to be safe and like stable and reliable for vehicles, because you need something like that. So they really haven't updated a lot of these chips for years. I'm sure they've gotten a little faster over the time to run like these like smart displays and stuff like that in cars, but they're still quite old. So that's something that all these auto manufacturers are getting into, is like kind of trying to find a way to like modernize like their chips a little bit and making them like cheaper to produce and smaller.
Yeah, they'll say, especially when like all these electric cars start rolling out, they will need the better chips. But it makes sense. Like, cars weren't getting that much better, and the chips that they had are fine. They're still technically fine to use. Like, they can still do what most car manufacturers want to use them for. But the issue now is, especially countries like the U.S. and European Union are seeing like, hey, we can't rely on other countries now to produce chips. We have to kind of do it ourselves.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that before, like our reliance on other countries' chips and stuff like that. And another thing is I noticed is a lot of like companies are still relying on like paper, like orders and ordering systems and such. Like they haven't digitized a lot of this stuff either. So like they're slowly like getting like digitizing the ordering systems and digitizing like how to like track all these orders and such. So it's surprising like how like outdated some of this stuff is.
Not at all.
You don't think it is that?
No, not at all. Like, as the more I work in like the corporate world and I talk to other people in the corporate world, is when something works and people have been doing it forever and like the system works, unless somebody comes along and knows it's going to be easier to do and the company's willing to spend money on it to update it, companies will just let it go. So
that is true. Yeah, that's what they did. The automakers stuck with these old chips because it was cheap, and it was pointless to spend extra money like building like new chips, because why? They're so cheap.
Yeah, and also saying a lot of companies now are overstocking.
Yeah, they said like that's actually going into the shortage even more because people are doubling their orders from last year.
I mean, you saw that with the hand sanitizer and toilet paper and all. Companies are no different than people. I mean, companies technically are people, which is why they can donate their political campaigns.
That's true. There's so much excess of hand sanitizer and masks and all that. Like, I feel like you could probably buy hand sanitizer for like pennies on the dollar right now.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, you see it now. Everybody has some.
Yeah. And then one other final thing that they've been doing is they've been finding ways to like recycle old like chips, because a lot of times people throw out devices, the chips are just completely fine and they just go to a landfill. So they're like, why can't we just reuse these chips for other uses? Because they have like chips last a long time. People don't realize that they just don't die over, like they last a while. They just might like go like be used for a different use. But like, okay, the chip that's in your watch might not be good like 3 years down the road, but like it could be used for something else.
Well, and I think that also has to do with them being so cheap. Like, I just throw it away, we'll buy another one for 12 cents. Like, if there was something, if they were more expensive, companies sooner would have looked into recycling them
Yeah,
then
I can throw in stats where like the 53.6 million metric tons of e-waste from 2019 and only 17% was recycled. I mean, that sounds bad, and it's hard to picture any of that, honestly. But yeah, I know for a fact we don't properly recycle our tech. I know that for
not at
a
all.
fact.
Well, I don't, because you usually have to take it someplace, and most people don't.
And like you said, it's cheaper just to buy a new one than recycle it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So so times like these are like forcing companies to like come up with new ideas on like what should we do, and okay, maybe we should recycle this because we're having a shortage. But you know, I don't know if things will change like next month or the month after that, but I think we're going to have plenty of chips next year and the year after that.
Yeah, they said it should alleviate by the end of 2021, late third quarter, maybe stretch into 2022, but it should be getting back on track.
Well, of course it will, because look how much money is rolled up into this. Like, the automakers are losing so much money right now. There's a bunch of other companies that are losing so much money because their product's not available on store shelves or like at the lots.
And that's what like the U.S. is supposedly putting $52 billion into making chips. The EU is like $160 billion or something like that. So like it's a ton of money to go around. So that's why I don't think it will last that long.
Yeah.
But
all right, well that's all I had. I'll put the articles I found in the show notes. There's a lot more in-depth stuff, and if you're curious, there's like tons of articles out there about this. Everybody has an opinion about the chip shortage. That's like the most not exciting, but that's like the most covered tech thing right now.
Well, because it's an easy story to tell, and it's affecting so many people.
Yeah, anybody can understand like supply and demand, so it's easy. Like, oh, I don't care about tech, but I can't buy my car.
Yeah, chip make car go. No chip, car don't go.
Yeah, there you go. That's the average consumer right there. So, all right. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another Future Jam episode. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at The Future Jam. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It would be very helpful. I noticed a couple of you did, so thank you. And
Thank you.
Catch you next week or whenever.
Oh, and we'll post on Twitter poll question of the week. What's your favorite season? So yeah.
Okay. We will. All right. We'll have a vote for the favorite seasons. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.